Finally TV, here we are, party people, back again, another episode of Voice of the Valley, and I'm happy you were able to tune in and check me out one more time. Remember, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, hit that like button, comment below, let me know what you think of these interviews. I want to keep them more coming, tell me who I'm missing, who I got to get on the show and all that good stuff. You know I be out here doing a lot of work, and I'm always paying attention, right?
Always.
But this is one dude where I didn't even need to pay attention all that much because he was letting me know exactly how busy he is and what he's working on, putting in that work in the 845.
Yes, sir.
None other, without further ado, my man Eric Notes in the building. How are you, sir?
We in the building.
That's it.
Eric Notes is doing okay, you know what I mean? Finally here with Finally TV.
Yes, sir.
It's long overdue.
Happy to have you.
This was definitely needed.
Yeah.
From the day one when I met you.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the fuck you was, but I just knew that the energy was there, and I said, you know what, I gotta get with it. There's the 845. I like connecting the dots. I'm a little slow to catching on to everything, but once I catch it and the relationship starts building, there's not much more to say. You know, any relationship I build, the love is tangible and is real, and we're here with it.
Absolutely, man. It's all about supporting one another and really building something, you know, while we might not be part of the same group or the same faction or the same group of people, we are all part of the same movement, though.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And we could push this thing really far if we do it all together. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? That's why people like you and shout out Dan Voice. We were talking about him before.
Shout
people
out Dan Voice.
You know what I mean?
Just shout out to the good brothers that's genuinely putting it in the air.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. Getting that
appreciate
good
them.
Yeah, getting that good energy out there. And that's what this is all about. It's always been about that with Finally TV, you know? So I'm super proud and happy that, you know, here we are, couple years later, after finding out what Finally TV was with me, that we're still here doing it.
Yeah, we still here doing it. We still working.
That's it.
Despite what it may look like on the outside, man, everything is going on just fine.
Yep, absolutely.
We're here.
We're going to keep striving. We're going to keep striving and doing our thing. So we're going to get into this interview, brother. We're going to let everybody know what Eric Notes is doing, what you're up to, where you've been, where you're going.
Please, it's a must.
Let's get it. So I always set it off like this, man. Where were you born and how'd you end up in the Hudson Valley?
I was born at NYU Hospital, New York City.
Okay.
My come up, you know, I'm one of them guys that moved around a bit. So I like to give the credit to Queens, Jersey, and ended up finding my way upstate. I was about 11 years old. Father bought a house up there in Woodstock through a family friend. It was definitely a crazy transition.
Yeah, you went from bricks to the sticks for real right there.
Yeah. It was bricks to the sticks for real, but you know, like, it's crazy because when I came into Kingston and shit, I knew a lot of little kids that was kind of like through the years and being in Kingston where they're like, yo, boom, they just moved up from the city. So it happened to be that little landing spot, you know, for people. But one thing I can say about New York City and just the tri-state area, once you get a taste of that, and once you get a sense of yourself as a being, as a young man and a young adult, even when, you know, as young as 8, 9 years old, you know, some of us catch on quick to life, and we really start embodying the elements around us. So, you know, I'm forever grateful for my birthplace and where I come from, but you know, that's how I made it up to Hudson Valley. My pops bought a house upstate.
Okay.
And I'm all about, you know, new ventures, meeting new people, so I embraced it full force, and I love Kingston. It's my home now. Anybody ask me where I'm from, I'm from Kingston, New York. That's what we representing. I got a lot of great relationships here, and I appreciate everybody in my city, you know, alive or past. You know, we lost a lot of people, but we still here. We getting older and maturing, so here we go.
Yes, sir. Shout out Fire Magazine and Next Level.
Yeah, shout out Next Level.
845 The Big Show. You know what I mean? Like all
DJ Do Ya. Shout out to Do Ya.
Absolutely.
The love is real, man.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? I'm aware. Shout out to y'all though. So tell me, brother, you know what Finally TV is, and you know what you got going on.
Yes, sir.
Why are you here today?
You know, I'm here pretty much. I knew, you know, Finally TV was the platform especially locally, where it needs to start. We need to start from the foundation and where we're coming out of. So it's a must that all of our people in the 845 and around the way that's tuning in, if you're reaching out to see what's going on up here, that you stay informed with Eric Notes and in tune with what I'm doing, what I'm about. So pretty much I'm here to just broadcast to the world, you know, what I'm on, what my grind is like, you know, what it takes in this hustle, the sacrifices you got to make. It's risk. It's not always what it seems to be, but sometimes you got to paint the picture for them, because sometimes they try to look past you, but you got to make it look a certain way for them, and, you know, present it. You got to present your grind, because, you know, out here we a dime a dozen sometimes. Right. But you got to stand out, and if you believe it and you working for it, you know, they're going to stay tuned.
Absolutely. You know, people come on the show, and when I ask that question, you know, they have an answer, right? They have, usually it's one thing. But in your case, you're multifaceted, right?
Yes,
so you're doing artistry and music, right? You got an acting thing going on that you want to pursue.
Yes,
and
sir.
you're an entrepreneur with your brand on,
yes,
and
sir.
all that.
We got one life.
Yeah.
You know, I was slow to the market a little bit to get into the merchandise, but it was always in the plans, always had the vision. I'm glad we executed it. I need everybody to go follow Notes One Life. You know what I mean? On Instagram, go to enotesonelife.com. We need y'all to pick up the merchandise, support the brand, represent yourself. I came up with this logo, the One Life, because we only got one life to do it. Keep your hands on in everything that you're doing. Stay active. Keep on working towards it, because you got to make an impact, and you only got one chance to do that shit. So we representing it. So we got the brand One Life. You know, I'm doing the acting thing. That just started out with, like, I always just had this, like, I always been a motivated, driven individual. I always wanted to, like, I love the artistry. Just, I don't know, man. Just life in general really put you in a position sometimes, and when you feel like a valuable asset, you know, you kind of want to put forth the effort, and you want people to know, like, yo, check this. I can, and your accomplishments speak a lot. So I'm a testament to, like, anybody out there that's really just trying to act and has a desire to want to kind of mess around and do it, like, get off your ass, do the research, and figure out what you got to do, and you can get there. Right. You know what I mean? Right. You put the money up behind it, get with these casting agencies or these, like, you know, these networks, and go register, get on the payroll, do your background acting, pay your dues, because I'm going to tell you, I love doing it. I know COVID hit, but I can't wait to get back into actively doing it more. Sure. I was blessed to be able to do the HBO thing, appear on that with Mark Ruffalo. And, you know, a handful of other sets I was on. But the beautiful thing is the amount of people you meet, the relationships you're building, how they treat you, how you get fed. I mean, dog, I will spend every day on set if I have to, and I cannot wait. And I'm telling you, Notes will not stop until I'm on a big production. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what age I'm going to be, but I won't stop until I'm there. Big fact. You know? Yeah. And that's why I want to let y'all know, like, everything is possible. Eric Notes is definitely doing his thing. It's just everything takes time. And I know time can be a discouraging factor sometimes, but it's all about how you use it and what your process is, and how you take everything and internalize it mentally and put it together. So just stay focused. That's why I'm here to let you know, stay focused. You can do music, you can do acting. You know, I got a food cart, I got mad flavor. So you see me out there cooking as well. So, I mean, shit. I mean, how much more do we got to dig into? Because we can keep on digging. There's layers to this. Right. You just got to figure it out, bro.
That's it. And that's so important, man. Yeah. You know, we talked a little bit in the pre-show about, you know, investing in yourself and actually putting money behind you. You know what I mean? And, you know, one way to do that is to have multiple, you know, incomes coming in, trying to do different things, right? So I think that's a point well taken, and the audience out there needs to take heed to that, because I really do believe that some people think that it's just the talent that they should be relying on to make it, and it's like, man, I wish that was true. Yeah, I wish that was true. You know what I mean? I wish all I had to be was good looking. How come I'm not a model? How come I'm not getting paid right now to just take pictures?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm not good looking enough. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not that. It's that's not what I pursued. That's not what I invested in. That's not
Yeah.
what I pushed for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to your point, if you push for it and you
Yeah.
strive for it and you're dedicated to it,
Yeah.
you're committed to it,
Yeah.
it'll work.
Yo, can I say something?
Yeah.
One thing I gotta say, you know, to that point too, is like, I never lie about my walk, and
Right.
you know, I like to think that I have humility, and I know that you know, even though you can push and you can work to get to these places, just don't do as I've done. And I'm now learning more of this about myself, you know, and I'm still learning because I'm a hard-headed individual. But like, you gotta, like, if you are choosing to focus on something and you do want to succeed on something, just try your best to exercise one thing at a time. Not forget music. If you're trying to do acting, or if you're trying to do acting, do modeling, just forget the acting and then just do the modeling. You know, practice your little practices to keep yourself sharp, I guess, or just to, you know, to feed the fire a little bit. But make sure if you're doing something, you execute the plan on one thing first. Because my father told me, you like a, he said, you're a jack of all trades, or
And a master of
and
none.
a master of none.
Yeah.
And I've said that before, and like, when he said that, that's the only shit that my father ever said that made sense to me, that I agree with about myself.
Right. Right.
Maybe I'm bullshit. Maybe he said some other things that I agree with, but that's the only thing that ever stuck out to me when he said that. He's like, you like, you know, and don't do it, because it's crazy, because you'll start feeling like everything that you invested your time in and all the efforts that you did with this over here and over there, you're gonna be like, God, like, you're not gonna get the full fulfillment that you would as if you just focused on one thing at a time, put your all into it, and then got the result that you wanted. My girl tells me, you know, my father tells me, my peers tell me, and you know, I'm just all over the place because I want it now. But
Right.
sometimes, man, you gotta trust the process, and you just gotta slow the fuck down. So
Yeah.
just slow down. I encourage you to slow down and do what you put your mind to. Just put your mind to one thing and execute the plan.
Yeah, man, there it is. I mean, it is. It's one foot in front of the other. You know what I mean? One pant leg on at a time. But still get dressed though.
Yeah,
You
still
know
get dressed though.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's dope though, man. That's words of encouragement, and you know, somebody might need to hear that out there. You know what I mean? So let's talk a little bit more about you. So your name, Eric Notes, Z on the end, right?
Eric
They
Notes
see it
with
on
a
the
Z.
screen, you know what I
They
mean?
see with a screen.
Yeah. So
you know,
tell me, where'd that come from?
all right, so this is I say it as quick as possible.
Right.
But the story's ill though. All right, so I was about 18 years old. Well, actually, we'll get deep into that.
Yeah.
I was about 18 years old. I just had my kids. I had twins, you know.
Oh, okay.
I was living in Lancaster, South Carolina. I was sitting down one day writing. Like, it was hard. Once I had the kids and I realized real life was happening,
Right.
I was taking care of 3 kids already. Because my girl at the time had a daughter, and I had the babies, and I was just trying to be a responsible man at 18, and I was in a rush to grow.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm sitting down, and one day I called my brother up. I got an older brother who has a chemical imbalance. He's been suffering with that since he was 18 years old. Long story short, he was having one of his little episodes. He might have been in the hospital or something like that. And I was thinking, I was talking to him, I was like, yo, I really don't know what defies me, you know? Like, who am I? Because I'm not going to be a little something. I'm not going to be a young something. I'm not going to be anything to imitate anything, because I'm more unique than that. There's something about my character that, you know, that really needs to define me. So what happened was, when I was about 15 years old, my house got raided.
Okay.
My father went to the feds.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember. No, I wasn't 15. I was probably like 12.
Okay.
Anyway.
Younger. Yeah.
I was dumb as shit when I was younger, right? Anyway, I was rushing through a birthday card or something. And my father used to call me a nutcase or some shit. So I was rushing, and I wrote in there, instead of writing love the nut, I put love the note, the note, right? And I remember my brother Vinny, he was kind of bugging one day. And he was laughing. He used to call me that at certain times. He'd be like, the note, and then the significance didn't really catch on.
Right,
and then that day I called him, and I was sitting in Norwood. I'm sitting there. I'm like, yo, Vin, I don't know what to call myself. And he started laughing because he gets like these little episodes, and he was like, the note, and I was like, yo, I think, you just answered my question. I was like, I'm going by the note from now on. I was like, the reason why being is because ever since I could remember, all I've done was like take notes and analyze every situation that I'm in, whether reading people's characters, whether anything. And I've always been very hip to catching on to shit quick. I was like, I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, yo, I'm the note, take notes, boom, boom, boom.
Gotcha.
And then it started catching on around the way. People was like, oh, the note. They was like, that's E-Notes.
Yeah.
E-Notes started coming. They're like, yo, who's the note? Oh, that's E-Notes.
Yeah.
Who's E-Notes? That's Eric Notes.
Yeah.
Boom. So it all kind of, it came together.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's the most organic shit ever. Because I know, like, people be like, yo, that's fucking crazy. But honestly, that's really who I am.
That's how we got
I can't, every day of my life, all I've done was just pay attention and watch the signs, you know what I mean? And I like to say, ever since my mom died, like my mom passed away when I was 8 years old, ever since that moment, I really got in touch with my spiritual side. I exercised my faith and found God in my heart some years later. Because I got tired of being angry and upset, and I started making sense of my life, figure out who the fuck I am, and all the pieces came together for a very good reason, and that's how I came up with Eric Notes, man. So they asked who Eric Notes is. That's the note. Take notes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dope.
So that's how that came about.
The note, take notes. I like that's a cool story, man. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Don't get realer than that.
Nah, man, and it is very organic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It just happened. It just happened the way it happened, and it was funny because my brother wasn't trying to give me a suggestion.
Right.
He was just going through his shit, just trying to make a joke or something.
Right.
But
hey,
that's how I came up with that, man. I mean, can't lie about it.
And it stuck, and I like it's a cool name, you know.
Eric Notes.
Yeah, Notes. Like,
on top of that,
it rolls.
Now, look up Google Eric Notes with the Z, ERICNOTEZ. I'm the first shit popping up on the internet for Eric Notes.
Yeah.
I got ericnotes.com for a reason. Check out the website.
Yeah,
I mean, let's just keep it going.
There it is. As a matter of fact, Eric, let's do that right now.
Yeah.
Look into that camera and let them know where they can follow you, find you, and purchase your merch and all that. All
right, check it. You can follow me at Eric Notes everywhere. ERICNOTEZ. I'm Eric Notes all across the board. You can go to ericnotes.com, enotesonelife.com. You can get the merch. I'm working with a little drop shipping store through Shopify. So we gradually trying to build up the clientele there to see the traffic there. I need the people, honestly, on the humble. I need the whole 845 to support the logo. You know what I mean? If you guys got any ideas or suggestions of how you rather see that logo or what more you would like to do if you want to rock it, I'm open to it all because, you guys are the consumers. You guys are the people that I need, you know what I mean, in the corner for me to make the brand right. So I'm trying to put the investment into it, and I just want to do whatever sits right with the people. So color suggestions, design suggestions, whatever y'all want, I'm open to it all. Otherwise, feel free to DM me on my Instagram at Eric Notes. If you want one of the hats, we'll send you the hat. Personally deliver it. I'll send it through the mail, whatever you want. But sport one life, man. Wear that shit, rock it with pride, and come on, the logo's fresh. I mean, come on, do what you gotta do.
I like it, and I like the premise behind it. You only get one life. Make sure it's hands on. Make sure you're doing your thing. So the logo definitely makes sense. You know what I mean?
Just represent. Gotta represent, man. You control your destiny right now. You know what I mean? Despite God's plans, always gonna be God's plans. But while you're here active, you move around, you control what you do. So, I mean, get your hands dirty. Represent it.
That's it. So let me ask you this, because like you had mentioned, being 18 and writing, and you even mentioned, being like 15 and trying to figure out like what to call yourself. So like, when did you realize that you wanted to? You could rap or you could do music. When did that happen for you? Early?
Yeah, it started early. Yeah. I mean, just it's a given.
Yeah.
Any MC, anybody loves music. we already know hip hop or R&B, especially in my era. You know, that's your passion. It made you feel passionate. It gave you that liveliness, that electricity, that spark.
How old
especially
were you?
coming from the tri-state area. When I felt that feeling, I was like 7, 8 years old when I felt that feeling. A lot of people that know me, you know, I have a big backstory, but we'll say that for the biography. Anyway, you know, when you're coming up with artists like, you know, like Nas and Tupac and DMX and Big and, you know, CNN.
Gotcha.
I mean, I want to name them all. Because, you know, everything is like an element that just, it's like seasoning in the pot, boy. I'm telling you. But,
really is.
You know, from that part, it really started defining my character. And then, you know, when I moved upstate, I was probably about like 11 years old when I came up to Kingston. And shortly after that is when, you know, I used to like write a lot of poetry, and I feel like that's a big part of everybody's story. Usually, they're like, "Oh, I used to write little poems," and I really did though. I used to really like writing and the artistic side of just writing my feelings down. And you know, next thing you know, I don't know what happened, but one day I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna try writing a rhyme."
Right.
And the first rhyme I ever wrote, I remember I wrote about guns. I wrote about all the shit I was listening to.
Right.
And the first thing that I thank God that I started doing, that I told myself, I said, I'm glad I erased what the fuck I wrote and tried again. And then I tried again. And I knew, I was like, oh yeah, I'm catching on to something. Because I was able to be open and real about me. And I said, yo, if you're going to do this, you're going to have to represent you, and you're going to have to stand out from everybody else.
Right.
Eric, you gotta do this in a way where they're not saying you this, because one thing we grew up with, you can't bite nobody's style. You can't be nobody else.
Right.
You're not allowed. That was unheard of. You couldn't do that. You was getting kicked out of the whole arena if you was trying to copy somebody else.
Facts.
So, you know, once I sat down and I started doing it, and I rewrote and wrote, I was like, yeah, I love this shit. I was like, I'm going to keep on doing this. And then the more I started doing it, I realized I was nice at it. I knew I was good at expressing my feelings, and started exercising the freestyle part of rap. And just, man, I don't know, a flame lit up inside my soul. And I was like, and I told them from the first day, the first people I ever told about my raps, I don't even know who the hell it was. But I remember walking around school, and I remember talking to some of my friends and shit, and I just told them, yo, I'm not going to stop. I promise you I'm not going to stop. I promise you that the passion I talk today with about rap and about hip-hop, I won't stop. There's not a day you won't see me where I'm not passionate about it. And I'm proud to say that as I'm 33 right now, all those years, there ain't been a day that went by that can't tell me that my passion has died down. And that's how I knew I was meant for this shit. I said, you know, I was like, there's no stopping me, because I'm too driven right now. And that's how I knew I fell in love with this shit. I knew it wasn't just a hobby or overnight thing that was just going to fall out the sky.
That leads right into my next question. So how long ago was it that transition happened where you're like, all right, I'm doing this for fun, I'm pretty good at it, but it's not a hobby no more, like I want to do it?
Yeah, at that point, at 12 years old, once I hit Kingston.
Wow.
That's when I knew. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And it's crazy, because right now, I see all the growing I've done. Like I've grown a lot as an MC. And I thought I was nice back then.
Right.
But I knew. But now seeing me, I've grown a lot. And, you know, it just tells you, like, don't always be so sure of what you think you know. Just always know that there's more to learn about yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Big facts.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about 21 years in the making, right?
Yeah, 21 years in the making.
So in that 21 years, I know, you know, everybody starts humble. You know, you're recording, you know, maybe in your basement or in your bedroom to like other, you know, instrumentals that are industry, you know what I'm saying, things like that.
Tons of those.
Yeah, you know, I think we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
So with that, now, you know, you've evolved your sound and you've evolved the way you're presenting your music. I mean, I'm sending people there now to your Instagram to go look at it, right?
Eric knows.
They're going to see what I'm talking about. But, you know, let's talk a little bit about, you know, what you've been able to put together since, you know, you were able to put money behind it and really do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let's talk about that.
Yeah. So let's talk about being 18, 19, supporting 3 kids, providing for a household, and having a passion and a dream.
Right.
That whole element itself is like, it's mandatory for me because I'm dedicated, right?
Right.
But there's a balance. So I done took losses and came up with the money and getting to the points where I started accomplishing shit. Everybody, that's an artist, one time or another, I think y'all done did showcases. Yeah, you hearing about showcases, you coming to these, you paying these little fees to go on stage, to do that shit. It all seems to make sense. That shit didn't make sense to me. But I did it anyway.
Right.
Because I thought it made sense. Now it didn't make sense to me. There's something I would have done better. I mean, there's only one way to get your name out is to do those things, but it costs money to do those things.
Sure.
So the first thing I ever jumped into was Hot 97 showcase at the Sofa Lounge out in the BX, or 4 of them right over there. That was my first like big shit for Hot 97, where I was like, oh shit, I'm about to go on stage and do this, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And, one thing I learned through that was don't pick your most complicated song to do that.
Right.
Keep it real simple.
Yeah.
I was young. I didn't know, really. So I was going and I was ready to be the next Tupac on stage and rap my heart out. I did 2 verses of this shit. I remixed the Kanye West joint. I forgot which one it is, but the shit was hard. The beat was hard. I went in there, I rapped 2 verses of it. The 3rd verse, froze. I freestyled. I just kicked it right to a freestyle. Freestyle wasn't bad, but they knew.
Right.
They knew I was up. I learned I was humiliated a little bit, but I wasn't really. It was crazy because I was the first MC up on stage.
Oh, that's tough.
I didn't even think it.
Yeah.
And it was the first time doing it. It was the first one up. I was like, fuck. I want to put my best foot out there. But one thing I learned is, they love my energy. They love everything I brought to the table. But from that point on, through a journey through showcases, trips to Manhattan, spending money, I learned how to make my investment worth it. You step into the arena when you really try and make it to the big leagues and you come up with a strategy. And in my case, I said, what better way than go reach out to the big dogs? I had to get my hands dirty. I landed myself in trouble. Sacrificed my freedom. Sacrificed time with my kids. I hurt my soul. I've been broken. All for the money. Because if it wasn't for the money, a lot of the shit that you guys see, you wouldn't be seeing if I wasn't making those ends. Right. I'd be right here doing the same old shit. Maybe I'd be a better MC if I wasn't focused on getting all the other bigger MCs. I don't know. But I did what I did. I don't regret some of the things I did because I built relationships. I was able to. That's how I'm in Jamaica with Junior REID. This is how I'm going to Scott stores for 10 bands. These are all fucking learning experiences.
Sure.
Man, these are learning experiences. Where am I? I'm still here. I'm with Finally TV. I'm not on Hot 97 yet. Flex ain't calling me up for a freestyle yet. I'm still here at the ground level still, but just trying to do things to make it count. Just dropped the record with Vado.
Yep, saw that. You stay busy.
The list and the names are crazy, but like since that time, just through the journey of losing the money and trying to make the investments worth it and give y'all what y'all need to hear, I built relationships. So in everything that may seem like it didn't make sense, in some way it had to make sense. You know what I mean? And I just appreciate the relationships I built. I finally put an album out, which I didn't know when I was going to do that. Everybody's like, yo, you never drop music. How you been rapping this long? You never dropped me. I finally put the Puzzled album out. We got David Bars on there representing DITC. I'm happy to have him on the album. Came out great. Working with Drozilla was great. I got RJ Payne, arguably one of the hardest artists in motherfucking hip hop.
He's bar heavy right now.
In hip hop, well respected. Built the relationship with Payne. And countless other names that I didn't work with.
And let me pull that out of you a little bit, because he's being a little bit humble, y'all. He's not really telling you the real. Let's go down the list, bro.
Yeah.
Like, one of the hottest factions right now in hip hop is Griselda.
Uh-huh.
This dude has a joint with Conway.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I forgot about that.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like, let's talk about it. You know,
Yeah.
one of my favorite MCs of all time, and this audience knows, is Big Pun.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
And I got to interview his son, Chris
Yeah.
Rivers, a
Yeah.
quick little 5-minute joint. Shout out to the Beatmaker challenge that was out there
Yeah.
that I met him at. You did a joint with him and the other Puerto Rican, Joel Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like, you know, you've been there.
Yeah.
Talk about some more of the
Okay.
the people that you've gotten to work with.
Yeah, so, you know, first thing you guys need to know is when you see notes on these features with people, it's not always a in the studio session.
Right.
All right, a lot of this is because you're gonna have to learn. Because if you want it, you're gonna go through the same process.
Talk about it, bro.
You're gonna have to reach out to the managers. They're gonna have to like your shit. Then they're gonna talk to you about a price. If you ain't in their budget range, they ain't gonna see you. If you ain't ready to put 5 to 10 bands up, don't even talk to them because they're probably not gonna look at your email or respond back to your email. If you do approach a manager and you're interested in the booking, in that subject line, put pay for feature with a question mark. Otherwise, most of the time they ain't gonna look at it. Because if you ain't talking about paying for that feature, they don't want to see you. But otherwise, like the people that I done work with, man, like I can't say working with Joel Ortiz, you know, reaching out to him, he reached back, you know, with love.
Dope.
You know, we got to talk on the phone. You know, I like people that are about building relationships that say, hey, who am I working with?
Right.
That's important to me because it brings a whole nother comfortability and a genuine feel to the situation and whatever. So Joel was, you know, great with communication, and I was really happy that he joined this record with me, and to put Rivers on there. See, with me, what the strategy was, I'm gonna take the 2 Puerto Rican brothers. Not only am I gonna do that, but I already know they got great relationship.
Right.
So once I tell Joel, yo, I got Rivers,
so-and-so.
I got Rivers with me here.
Yeah.
We doing it. You know, it's even more of a, oh, okay, that's my man.
Right.
Boom. I'm trying to bridge the gap over here, you know?
Yeah.
I told a lot of people about the work I have done and told y'all who I got in these records. And now it's getting released. You're like, shit, this is how many years in the making?
Right.
Believe me.
Right.
You know, it's new to the new ears and new faces, but the people that I've talked to in the past, y'all kind of knew this shit's been brewing up.
Right.
But like, so, you know, everything takes time. It's all about the presentation and how you feel and how you exercise your relationship with those artists. And you don't want your work to come out all, you know, dusty. You wanted to have a nice little approach with it and a presentation. But working with Chris Rivers, Joel Ortiz, Saigon, you know, which we're going to be dropping that one. Styles P and RJ Payne on one record on Halloween.
I seen that.
I don't know what more I need to say, but that's Styles P and RJ Payne and Eric Notes on one record.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
As a matter of fact, we know this is not going to drop until after Halloween, so right now, I'm going to cut you out to that song right now.
Operation, nothing cold. Carcass courage and concurrent charges, murder soul. Use the muscles for health, hustling and wealth, that's my bennies. Fuck a boss, I am the boss, my sweat, they give me plenty. The grind is mucky, the kids is crazy, they killing Chucky. It's a scary flick before they shot by the cops, they lucky. Build an archive, crash the hard drive, going on live. All eyes watching me, youth rise, tighten all ties. Product of the LOX, witness the legend, goes to flesh. Revive my memory, more wisdom since prison, I'm smoking less. Money on my table like Baccarat, I'm chopping blocks. Ace card, mixing my need to my dope is rocking cops. Blame it on Griselda, the boys and Sparks and hopping Scots. Smacking custody for leaving bags up in the parking lots. Alright, stand up for that dope boy. Alright, give it up for that dope boy. Alright, stand up for that dope boy. Alright, give it up for that dope boy.
Shit. Forever dangerous, never changing this. Cocaine can talk, I speak it in 7 languages. Walking Basquiat,
So,
nigga, look at
that
how
track,
heaven
tell
painted
me a
us.
little bit
I'm up
about
in
that
Poppy
track
spot,
and what
water
that might
whipping
mean to
like
you,
Greg
'cause
Louganis.
Styles P and
Google
RJ
him,
Payne, like,
Pitbull
you
snapping, they let them
those are
poodles in.
very
For starters, my
well-respected
heart get
MCs.
dark in the
Yeah,
shot
very.
Zulu skin. I'm
Hard-working
hot now, as hot as a
MCs.
youngin'. I even knew it
Talk a
then.
little bit
I'm
about
dope,
putting that
how
together.
dope.
All right, so
just fluid in. Coke like a ski, so flow with my
me and
nigga
RJ Payne.
I'm independent on my P. Diddy.
The minute I heard about Payne, he started doing that murder in less than 60 seconds. I said, who the fuck is that? I told Payne all the time, like, yo, I'm just a student to the game. I'm still a student.
Right.
I'm still a student.
Sure.
Nobody get this confused. I'm still learning, bro. I don't know everything, honestly. But I want the shit with my life, so I want to learn whatever I got to, whatever formula, whatever chemistry I need to make happen to make the right record happen. I want it to happen. But Payne was an animal, and I said, you know what? At first, you know, shout out to Vinny Idol, the producer, Vinny Idol. Me and him built a good relationship. He's a solid dude, you know what I mean, and an incredible beat maker. You know his relationship with the Locks. You know, at first the talks was Jadakiss.
Okay. Right.
You know, but I think it was just a little. It would have been a little bit more difficult. You know, Idol told me, you know, P's a little bit more accessible right now. Right. I was like, you know what? I love them all. Everybody love the Ghost. I love SP the Ghost. So let's just let's fuck with Ghost on this. And you know, it took a minute. You know, P's busy. Styles P's busy as fuck. But you know, I was just happy because I've been burnt in the game. You know, I've been burnt in the game where people don't keep their word. They don't do this. And, and I don't ever want nobody to take it personal. But it's hard for me to really believe it until it's done.
You're right.
So when P came through with the verse, I said, yeah, this is P. So I was happy to pull those pieces together. And I came up with the hook. This shit sounded like a motherfucking, like a Rough Riders, a new Rough Riders record, honestly. I don't know. That's how I like the, because the feel of it, shout out to Panoramic Films, my man Half on the beat for that one. So that's how that came together. I just kind of pulled the pieces together. Now I'm trying to pull the video together.
Got you.
But you know, it might be hard to get P. It's just hard, man. Like you gotta grab Payne from Philly. You gotta do this. And mind you, anybody that's thinking, yo, Notez is pulling together. It costs bread for your MC to come to the video. It costs bread for the feature. You know what I mean? You paying for their time, their travel, everything. And when you're an independent artist, and you know, ain't nobody pulling me out for a video or for a verse right now. On a record right now. I would like to say I'm the hottest thing smoking, but I'm still in the arena. I'm still here. I'm still paying dues. So, you know, but I'm very grateful that we pulled them together for this record and that we can drop this on Halloween. You know, Lord knows I want everybody here. I want the whole industry to hear that. I want, you know, I want Swiss to hear it. I want Diddy here. I want the greats to hear what we working on. But truth is, you know, if it come across their desk, maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. But I'm glad that y'all can hear it in the 845.
That's what it is, man. It's there's many accomplishments in there, and I respect the fact that you're not sitting here going, oh yeah, it's nothing. Of course I'm working with so and so. Of course I got this. Of course I got Junior Reed on the joint. I love how you're just being real with it. And you're like, yo, not only did I have to hustle and network and communicate that I wanted that to happen, but I had to come out of pocket too.
Hell yeah, that's just hell.
It's not as easy. Sometimes I think it's not as hard as people think, and sometimes I think it's not as easy as people think. You know what I mean? Because the hard part in it is the sacrifices.
Yes.
Time and money. You know what I mean? When it seems easy, it's because you know that your sacrifices are going to get you to the next spot. So it's easy to make the sacrifice because you're looking beyond that. You know what I mean? Some people can't get past the 10 bands for the feature, bro. You can't. You know what I mean? That's
not easy money to come by.
You know what I mean?
Come on, man. We wait for tax time for that check. And half time of tax time, then we got mad debt we got to pay. This shit is not easy at all. It's the worst feeling in the world. The greatest investment I've ever made thus far, besides my children, is my damn food cart. Mad Flavor. Because that's a money maker. Food is essential.
Absolutely.
And when I get them little clip strips like the guy at Home Depot and you see the hats hanging on the outside and the merch, and while we pushing that, or we get the right cameras together and we get Mad Flavor ciphers popping, and we do the cooking, do the cooking and rap show, and we get the cipher and we do a little reality series and we get paid off the streams, then fucking come talk to me. Because Otherwise, this is just nothing but hard ass work and sacrifice.
Yep.
This shit'll break a man down if you ain't strong enough. You got to be ready.
Big fact. Big fact.
Sad ass, you got to be ready.
What would you say, because with that said, what would you say are your inspirations for all this? I'm going to make an assumption right now and just say, you're trying to make it to provide, right? Because you got a family to feed, right?
Yeah.
So that might be part of your inspiration.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what inspires you and then maybe who influenced you, like musically, to be the way you be.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody knows, usually people know about me, and they know my inspiration, off gate, what inspired me was Tupac.
Okay.
Just because his drive, his level of ambition, and, his no hesitation to keep it real about shit, and just that fire he had for it. That's what really lit the fire into my ass to say, yo, you are one of a kind. Eric Notes, you are you as an individual. You stand out. You are an outlaw out here. You go above and beyond, and you represent what you represent. You feel what you feel, and you know what's right, what's wrong, and you know how to tell the real from the fake. And that's what kept me moving. But I think my biggest inspiration, and I don't want it to be cliche, and it's not because I'm a Christian, but like, God is my biggest inspiration. God's my biggest inspiration because I know that as long as I can wake up in the morning, that God gave me the ability to practice self-discipline and the ability to use a mind that's healthy, that works to make conscious and clear decisions, to stay focused on a task or
Whatever
engage in whatever that might be.
Right.
So that's my biggest inspiration right now. Because whether I'm here on these streets, whether I'm facing fucking 7 years in prison, whether going through 4 years of college or whatever I'm facing in the moment, I know that it's always going to be me and the life I have in me. And as long as I have that life in me, then I'm going to be inspired to press forward and be accomplished in whatever way it is. Maybe it's impacting somebody else. Maybe it's being there for somebody else. Maybe it's seeing my kids through an abundant life.
Sure.
Just as like a supporter.
Right.
Out of things maybe that they're working on.
Right.
Not really necessarily through me giving them the abundance, but the favor that God may have over my children, just to be able to watch them experience that and try to always remember to be grateful for the simple things. And that's what inspires me, like the simplicity of things.
Got you.
And the potential for greatness.
Got you. That does bring me to my next question is like, who would you say are like your biggest supporters right now?
Damn, my biggest supporters. I'm gonna tell you my biggest supporters, honestly. My girl. Shout out to Alyssa.
Shout out Alyssa. Keep them going.
Yeah, keep me going. She's definitely, gives it to me straight.
Good.
And she tries to keep me on my game.
Sure.
Let me know if I'm moving too quick.
Sure. As a supporter, we all need that as men. We need a good woman right there to kind of buck you down. Shout out Angie.
Shout out Angie. My man Danny Wu, he's like my best friend.
Okay.
Been my friend since 3rd grade.
Okay.
He's the kid I first started rhyming with. I forgot to mention him actually when we talking about when you really started doing it. Yeah. Matter of fact, real quick, when I first started writing, when I was writing, I called him up. He was the first kid I called up. I said, "Yo,
listen to this."
I was like, "Yo, you know what I've been doing? I've been writing these rhymes. Yo, this shit. First beats I ever rapped over was Mobb Deep beats. All Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
Promise you.
Yeah.
And I went down to Jersey, Huber Street, Danny's basement, and me and him started writing. And he was the first person I ever wrote, and we sat down and wrote a rhyme with. And then we came up with a group. It was called the Illustrious Mob back then. We was young. It was Kilo Man and E-Rock.
All right.
That was back in the day. I forgot to mention that shit. I can't believe I let that slip my mind. Anyway, he's a great supporter because like although we don't talk all the time, he's always like letting me know like, yo, to stick to the roots and never forget what I do. Because everybody knows I've been a very diverse MC. I've got the dance hall records. I got the dance hall record with Junior Reed. Just my writing style. I got some shit in the works with Leland that we've been working on for a while. We kind of put on the back burner, but you know, I definitely got some like, I became a good music writer, like songwriter, you know? But like, back to the question of support, like he's always been there at the times where to kind of give me that reassurance. So I appreciate that support. My brother Mike, appreciate him because he always let me know if that shit is whack or if I should go back to the drawing board.
You need one of those.
And you know, like that's been my biggest supporters. I mean, I do appreciate. You know, I got to shout out though. I got to shout out to the random people that's been hitting me up.
Sure.
Like there's been random people that have been like hitting my inbox. And I won't name everybody, but like y'all hit my inbox and you're like, yo, I love what you're doing. I see what you're doing, bro. I really, you know, you let me know you feel the energy behind it. You'll see all the work I'm putting in and say, yo, just keep up the great work. I'm rooting for you. I really, yo, that shit makes me want to cry sometimes when I sit down. Like that's one of my strong points. My feelings, and I care about that.
Yeah.
Like I've had genuine emails. I mean, like inboxes, like of people just really bigging me up at random moments, saying, "Yo, I see you, and I really believe in you." Like that means a lot. That means more than any check I could get right now.
Sure.
Honestly, as much as I want to get the checks, that means more than any money or anything that anybody can give me because it lets me know that like, yo, they see your faithfulness to what you do and how devoted and how dedicated you are. And they appreciate your conviction and your rawness in your rhymes and your vision because I am very transparent about my lifestyle, you know, and certain things. And that means a lot to me. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are my support system. Those few people that do really support me, that are there and that make it known and vocalize it, you are appreciated. You know, if anybody else I missed, you know, that you have been there, you feel like, yo, no, it's not. That's not real. Yo, I've been there. I do appreciate you. I appreciate your support in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Sure. But the ones that stick out, you know, I got to let you know. And my daughter, I got to support my daughter first and foremost because Isabel is my top supporter. She is my top supporter. She sings my hooks. Right. My kids, when they hear my hooks and certain things, that's how I know I'm doing something right. Right. When they hear it, and then next thing you know, the music's off, and I hear them humming it and singing my hooks. Yeah. I love you, baby. I swear I love you to death. She's on the Light Up record with Scott Stewart. She's on the intro. Right. Isabel Karen Grace. That's my baby girl.
That's fire, though.
That's the support.
That's cool, man. So, you know, with all this music that you're doing,
yes,
production-wise, is there someone in particular that you lean on for production, or how do you go about that?
You know what? I want to shout out the producers I work with. Vinny Idol. I want to shout out Drillzilla. I want to shout out Leland. I want to shout out Half.
Hey, yo, Lee.
Hey, yo, Lee.
I like that.
I want to shout out all the producers that I work with because I really appreciate you handling it because anything you do, you challenge me creatively. As far as like a go-to that I lean on, I don't got a producer I lean on yet.
Okay, all right.
And I'm just really trying to because like I said, it goes back to the point of like being so scattered, trying to work on different areas and try and exercise these different things. Sure. It's hard to fully appreciate the beat and the artistry when I'm trying to create so many different things. So I am looking forward to a moment where I find a lane where I'm like, I want to stay here. And, you know, on this, you know, some new things I got working. Yeah. Y'all see me dropping these cover arts, and I got more consistently. I told you I'm unloading. I told you on the gram I'm unloading. I'm gonna keep on dropping. Good. But I got a new EP coming up. I'm gonna put select few joints in there. You know what I mean, like 5-6 joints. I'm gonna drop a little EP. But then I got another album. You know, another LP I'm gonna drop. I'm really feeling the vibe that I've been on, like we was discussing off camera. Yeah. You know, shout out to Rich Stars. Shout out to Voice Watkins. Yeah. AZ. Yep. Shout out to AZ. There's some joints I'm working on that like, you know, like I really fuck with the OVO sound.
Right.
I really do. I can't lie. That's one thing about
what you like, baby.
Yo, I think Drake is an incredible artist. And I think he's one of the greatest artists alive. I think he's one of the greatest artists alive because my man drops hits. I admire what Drake does because I feel the energy behind it. Drake puts you in a space where like every kid at like 17, like he brings you back to your youth and your adulthood and like that area where you like every day is a party and then the after party in the morning, waking up after the party and then saying, hey, yo, let's do this shit again.
Right.
It's that whole vibe like where he puts you and I really appreciate that shit. But I love the OVO sound. I love those beats with the little slower tempos where you're able to talk your shit and express your shit. Yeah, I like the melodic shit. And like, you know, that if I can say there's a signature sound, I really like that sound because I feel like I do well and I get busy well on those type of beats, honestly.
Okay, dope. Dope, man. We on the lookout for more Eric Knows for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a few things we got to wrap up before we get out of here. And I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I think there is one. But tell me about a pet peeve you got. Like, on a personal note, like, what's a big pet peeve for Eric Knows? Yeah. What's something that bothers you that people do?
That's hard for me because I'm so, like, focused on me where I'm like, God forgive them what they do because they don't know any better.
Right.
But a pet peeve, I think a pet peeve is somebody who's broke that's always begging, asking for money and don't know how to get up and work for it. I think that's one of my pet peeves because I'm always a giver and I like hint, but there's certain things where I'm like, yo, when I was out here 18 taking care of 3 kids walking to work, like, go get your money. There's no reason why you should be broke right now.
Right.
There's no reason why you should be broke.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I will do favors. I like helping when I can help. I can, but don't be coming around acting like you can't get it.
Right.
Because you can get it.
Right.
Because I got it.
Right.
I got probably like 10 times the bills on my fucking plate. Don't come to me.
Right.
If you are very able and you know able to get it. That's a pet peeve. Is a broke ass dude that's lazy.
Right.
And then maybe a pathological liar. I don't like pathological
Nobody
liars.
likes a liar.
Just don't like pathological liars. Look, I ain't perfect, bro.
Yeah.
I done told white lies. I done lied in relationships before trying to cover up dirt.
Sure.
I'm like, yo, I'm human.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, you know what I mean? My lies done came up in the wash, but I don't like pathological liars.
Yeah.
I ain't like myself in the moment of lying.
Right.
I'm not a good liar. I feel guilty as shit.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I don't like liars.
Right.
So whether it's, I don't like myself in the moment, but I don't like pathological liars when you believe your shit.
Right.
You're just telling them for unnecessary reasons. Like, this makes no sense.
It doesn't. It's
Yeah,
hard for someone who's not that way to really comprehend that and understand it because it's hard to. So is there and you may have said this earlier when you were talking about God.
Yeah.
But is there a line of advice that is like the baseline for notes?
A line of advice is the baseline for me.
Like, is there like a mantra like that goes on in your head as you're like trudging forward in life?
You know, don't get weary. Remain faithful and believe in the process.
Yeah, you were saying that before.
Whether it's going up or down or whatever it looks like in front of you, don't go by what it looks like at the moment. Just kind of believe in the process and don't get weary.
Right.
The moment you get weary, you start going off course and you start doing shit that's just distracting, and then you know. And you're going to make it harder for yourself. So don't get weary, remain faithful, and trust the process.
There you go, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
My friend, you have done enough in hip-hop to get some accolades. Definitely done more than enough to come on this show and tell your story.
Appreciate it.
And we know there's a lot more to this story. So when it says biography, you know, we might just have to do part 2 and talk some other ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just, there's layers to the story.
Yeah, absolutely. But for all intents and purposes on this show, I just want the people to know, introduce you to them if they don't know.
Yes.
And for the people that do know you, to get like a little background on you, right? Because they've
Yeah.
been listening to your music, and maybe
Yeah.
they've never heard you speak about some of these
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
You know what I
true
mean? So I
deep.
think it's important for you to engage with the audience like that, whether they're new or old.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? So with that said, though, and been around the block a bunch of times,
Yeah.
I love to ask the question, what was the first time you felt like a star doing this whole entertainment deal?
I'm gonna tell you the first time I ever felt like a star, dead ass.
Tell us.
And it's small, but it's
Right?
one time. One time, I don't know how many years ago it was. I did. It was my father's birthday or some shit, right? My father's girlfriend bought him some tickets to a welterweight championship boxing match with Miguel Cotto and some dude named Claudia, some shit like that, in Madison Square Garden. I ain't never been to a boxing match in my life, right?
Yeah.
She was sick, she couldn't go, so I got the ticket. I was like, oh shit, all right.
Yeah.
I was happy about that.
Yeah.
I went out that day, right? We went to the boxing match. We sitting like right behind her. I'm sitting behind, Giants was my team. They was doing all right.
Yeah.
I'm sitting behind Justin Tuck's in front of me,
Oh, wow.
Brandon Jacobs right there,
Yeah.
Paulie from Sopranos, Al Harrington. I met all these guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm feeling good because of that, right?
Yeah.
Son, we left the boxing match, right?
Cotto.
I had a homegirl. Anyway, went with homegirl out to Jersey to Tunnelly Avenue.
Yeah.
Had a good night,
Okay.
And so woke up that morning, went straight upstate, and Drew from Creative Education CCE was having a talent show at the UPAC.
Okay.
And I remember I wrote this record. It was fire. I wish I still had it. It was over a Scarface beat.
Okay.
And
Like Scarface the rapper?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know who did the production, but it was over one of his records.
Yeah.
The beat was hard as fuck.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling so lovely after I,
Yeah.
let the boxing match.
Yeah.
Had a little surprise
Yeah.
guest visit in Jersey, and then came upstate. I was feeling like the man, right? I went up on stage. Usually I got stage fright. Like, honestly, that's something I'm still getting over because my anxiety was out the roof.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, I felt so good that day. I said, I made it just on time, right, to the talent show.
Yeah.
The UPAC was like, it was full. I said, yo, it's time for me to go on.
Yeah.
I went out there and killed my song. I ain't skip a beat.
All right.
No, I went up there, did my thing. I was like, yo, I feel like the fucking man right now.
Right.
And I was, I was most proud of? I didn't have no nervous feeling in my body when I hit that stage. And I was so comfortable with the record. And like, anybody knows me. Y'all see me on stage. You see me like have the stage fright moments. You see me have the fuck ups on stage. That's one thing I won't lie about.
Right.
Like, I've had moments where I'm forgetting my lyrics and like something about anxiety that will come up and really freeze your mind up and freeze you up and lock you up and hinder you, which is an obstacle that like I hate. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's why it takes intense rehearsal for me and certain things in my process. So anyway,
But that night.
but that night I was the star of the show that night. I was like, yo, I cannot believe it. I was like, I might have to do that shit every time.
There you go.
Boxing match,
Right? Get a girl.
and then hit the stage.
There you
That
go.
shit, that might be the process. I don't know, but like, yeah, that's one time I felt like a star. I just want to say, you know what I mean? And forget smoking a blunt with Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and
wow.
Prodigy in NJ Pack and me and X that night, and forget that whole experience.
Yeah.
That night though, when I was at the UPAC in Kingston, I was the star.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I like it. So, brother, before we get out of here, look into that camera one more time.
Yeah.
Let them know the sites they can go to,
Okay.
where they can follow you.
Yeah, let me
and
be
what's
more
coming.
specific.
Let's go.
All right, so listen, you can follow Eric Notes everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. Don't mind the TikTok. I'm just trying to get y'all there before I start dropping videos. But you can find me everywhere at Eric Notes, EricNotez. Please go to my website. I keep up with a lot of things, so I do like to try to keep up with my website too. It's very presentable. It looks good. It's a clean website. You just go to ericnotes.com. You can check out the music. Look out for more video reels for the acting thing. I know I've been stressing it a lot, but you can just stay there. Keep on staying tuned. I'll let you know when I drop new shit on there, but keep that in your web browser, ericnotes.com. I got a lot of big things coming for that. Again, trust the process. And then DM me in my Instagram for the hats. Definitely support the line. Like I said, I'm open to comments, suggestions, and everything on the brand and what you would like to see and what type of item you want. Let me know. And then lastly, just go to www.enotes1life.com. See my Shopify store. You know, purchase an item, a t-shirt, a hoodie, whatever. If you're going to the gym, go get your little t-shirt on. I know it's the winter, but I do got a couple of hoodies up there. Just purchase an item, man. Get it for your father for Christmas or your grandfather, whatever, if you don't want to rock it. You know, as we get older and the old men, they don't really care too much about the style. If you ain't fucking with it, I'm sure the old heads appreciate it. So just however way you want to look at it, come support your boy, support E-Notes, man. Check my music out, check the videos out. New video out now that we did for Fred the Godson. A little tribute video, I just dropped that yesterday. The one, Get to the Money, Legacy, P, my man Dan Voice. That was the latest video we dropped before this one. And look out for the new visuals coming on the way with Vado and India Ivana. Straight
go.
Up.
There you go. See, I told you he had a lot going on.
Lot.
So, Eric, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, appreciate it. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. I really
a lot to dive into.
Yeah, man. I liked the conversation. It was fire. For all y'all watching, thank you for watching the show. But here's a little caveat for y'all. In the comments below,
yes, sir,
you leave a fire emoji and a 100 emoji.
Yes, sir.
And everybody who does that, I'm gonna throw those names in a hat. And I'm going to slice it up and pull out a name. And the name I pull out is going to cash app some money. So in those comments,
don't play.
You need a fire emoji and a 100. That's all for the comment. And you can say whatever you want somewhere else. But I just need a fire emoji and the 100. And I'll put your name in the mix to get you some cash app.
Straight up. Oh, yeah. You know what you can do with that fire emoji and all that? Yo, the question is, Eric Notes is dropping a record called Move On. I'm dropping that November. If you're watching this whole show, we asking you, when you're dropping Move On, what month is he dropping it in? Just give us the month. Drop the month as well.
There you go. So you know what the answer is. It's November, and then a fire emoji and a 100 emoji.
And Cash App.
And Cash App's coming your way.
Whatever Gabriel Cash Apps, I'm going to match it.
There you go. You see that?
Okay.
So, but yo, I really do appreciate you out here. Keep repping the 845. Brother, you doing your thing.
Thank you, bro.
If I can help in any way, you already know, reach out to me. I'm assuming when COVID goes away and all that, we having shows again. I would love to host an event where you're like one of the performers. You know what I mean? So
yeah, most definitely.
Let's get that popping. Let's get that going.
Thank you.
He is Eric Notes. I am Gabriel. This is Voice of the Valley, Finally TV. Let's go.